Here's a radio that I've had for quite some time. A Sears Solid State 8 AM pocket radio and accessories. Still in the original box, obviously. We have the original Silvertone owner's manual, which Silvertone was Sears' house brand. And the model numbers for this radio are 7208, 209, 210, and 211 to designate different colors. And by the model number, I'm going to guess this is a 67 model. We have our earphone. And we have our radio itself. Now the radio itself doesn't say Silvertone on it, it says Sears, which by the late 60s, Sears was phasing out the Silvertone name, so that just further confirms my suspicions that this radio was made in the late 60s. This is a rather well-built set with a metal chrome-plated front, heavy plastic back cover. I think this might have been their top-of-the-line pocket radio for that time period. Now there's a story behind this set. Whenever I was about probably 12 or 13 years old, just getting started into old radio collecting and electronics, I ran an ad in the local paper looking for old radios. Well, one day while I was at school, this gentleman called the house, and he likely didn't know that he was going to be talking to a 12-year-old kid, but anyway, he called the house and talked to my parents, and they told him all about me, and he told them, well, I'd love to talk to your son. I've got some radios and stuff, and I was in the radio and TV repair business for a number of years, and maybe I can help him out. So when I got home from school, my parents gave me the message, and they told me to give him a call, and they reminded me that he was in the next county, so, don't stay on the phone too long now. So I called this gentleman up, and we got off to a good start, and we kept in touch up until he passed away in early 2000. He was one of the many gentlemen that took time to help me out as a kid, as far as teaching me things about electronics and old radios and such. And I'll always have a special place in my heart for this gentleman, along with all of the other people that helped me out over the years when they could have just as easily sat back and not given me the time of day, but they took time to help me along and encourage me, and I'm forever grateful to those people. And to this day, I still remember those acts of kindness, and I always try to help other people out when I can, whether it be with electronics or just helping them out with life in general. I always try to give back when I can. However, the story is not over. A few weeks ago at church, my pastor's grandson, who I've become friends with, was getting ready to leave for the Marine Corps. And the Sunday before he was supposed to leave, we all went out to eat lunch after church, me and my pastor, the pastor's son, the pastor's grandson, his girlfriend, and then his girlfriend brought along a friend of hers. Well, to make a long story short, the friend of hers turned out to be the granddaughter of the gentleman that gave me this radio all those years ago. It's amazing what a small world we live in. So I'm going to check this radio out and see what kind of operating condition it's in, and offer it back to the granddaughter and her family if she'd like to have it back. If so, if she would like to have it, I'll be more than happy to give this back to the family. But right now, let's open it up and see what the inside looks like. And here's the model tag from inside the radio. This came in black, brown, white, and blue. Obviously, we have the brown version, so that would make it a model 7209. And here's the inside of the radio. This took one of those cylinder-looking 9-volt batteries. It looks similar to a AA battery. I'm really not sure those batteries are available anymore, but if need be, we can probably add a modern 9-volt connector to allow the set to use a 9-volt battery. And the chassis number prefix is 132, so that tells me that this radio was built by Arvin for Silvertone, or for Sears, likely made in the United States. And unfortunately, I can tell in years past that a battery has leaked inside of this set. So let's clean the battery contacts and apply power and see if this thing still plays. And we're connected and turned on, and unfortunately we're dead as a doornail. And not surprising, ain't no telling what the battery acid done to this. But let's see if we can make it sing. But they were nice enough to give you a nice big schematic. Here is part of the instruction manual. Something you're not going to find with today's electronics. In today's world, you're doing good to even find anybody that can fix this new junk. Okay, we have the chassis removed from the cabinet, and unfortunately there's some very extensive battery corrosion here, and one of the leads from the speaker was corroded off from the earphone jack. So I don't know if this is going to be a success story or not. We are going to give it all we've got, though. If we can't get this thing playing, it won't be because we didn't try. The first thing I want to do is clean off as much of this battery corrosion as possible, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I've cleaned off as much of the old battery corrosion as possible, and I jumped out the broken speaker connection, and as you can hear, we have desirable results here. So now all we need to do is fix the speaker connections and put it all back together, and this thing ought to be good to go. Okay, here we are back together. I've repaired the defective wiring and installed a modern 9-volt battery connector. And when I did that, the back cover wouldn't fit, and the only way I could make that happen was to break off these two little supporting tabs that were there to hold the original type 9-volt battery that's in place. And of course that type of battery is not widely available anymore. But now everything fits back together like it should. And here we are back together.
As a goal is one of
Don't have a lot of time left, so I'm not going to spend much time on any station. But it appears to be pretty sensitive for a little pocket transistor radio. Okay, there you go. Thanks for watching, and more to come later. I think that's WSM.